Hi, it's Trisha again, and I just wanted to give you guys a few tips that I found very useful this morning. I was listening to The Money Guy, and they were talking about all these YouTubers that, are giving information to people out there that some people might be taking too literally or might be trusting too much. So my number one recommendation would be to always double, triple check before you kind of make any investments or any financial decisions, because sometimes people can, really kind of set you on a wrong path. So anyway, I wanted to share with you because one of the topics that they brought up was an example of a bad decision. And, everybody has the opportunity to make their own bad decisions in life. And so I was hoping that by sharing my three biggest bad decisions that maybe I could prevent someone else from at least making the same bad decision that I made. So my first bad decision, I would say, was when I was fairly young and new to investing. I had started with the airlines at 18, and I had invested every single month, and it wasn't a lot because I wasn't making a lot. But over time it grew and grew, and I continued to put my money in, and I don't know what I had invested in, probably something very safe back then. But at some point in time, I want to say about 8 years into investing, I had put, quite a bit of money away, and one of our good friends, he had recommended a stock pick for me, and being young and immature, I went with it without doing my own research and not really knowing too much, So I went with it, and ended up being a horrible decision, and I lost all my money, and that was about, I want to say, $20-something thousand that I had saved up to that point. And this was, about 35 years ago. And what happened was, it was with kind of a startup of the airline that I was flying for. They had started this low-cost carrier to compete with Southwest. And anyway, it ended up being garbage and didn't work out. And the company ended up filing bankruptcy. So I ended up getting pennies on the dollar for my balance, because I had thrown it all into this stock. So that was a really poor decision on my behalf. And I took the word of somebody who didn't know, jack, and cost me, quite a bit of money. Had I, put that money in the stock market and let it just ride for the next 35 years, would have ended up being quite a bit of money. So that was my number one bad decision. I would say my second bad decision would be, probably, maybe 20 years ago. I had decided that I was going to get life insurance, and my sister-in-law was selling it and just started a new proposition with this company, World Financial, which, once again, garbage. And what it was called the VUL, a Variable Universal Life. And what that was part of it was insurance, part of it was investment. And, they come out with all their graphs and stuff and try to, convince you that, if you put your money in, the investment side of it will grow. And over 20 years, you can turn your I was at that time putting in $500 a month. So 100 went to the insurance, and 400 went to investment. So I think it was probably, I had held it for 10 years. So $400 a month in investments for 10 years. And I realized it wasn't growing. So that whole, information of, it's going to grow to hundreds of thousands of dollars never really happened. It stopped at I think when I ended up selling it, it was $25,000. That was the value of it. So 400 times 12 times 10, and the value was only $25,000. And I even had a surrender charge when I finally canceled. I said, this is not growing. This is not a good investment. So once again, here I lost, because if I had just invested that $400 in the stock market for those 10 years, it would have been a lot more than the $24,000 that I ended up getting, if it was even that. Net, it was not a good investment. So I made that mistake as well. So my recommendation to anybody investing, do not combine any kind of life insurance and investment. They say keep it separate. And after all these years and going through what I went through, I concur. Keep it separate. Get a term life insurance and do your investing through an investment platform. So my latest kind of big financial faux pas is buying a home in a second home in an international destination where I didn't speak the language and I didn't really have any contacts. and I ended up paying $150,000 cash, and I held the home for over 10 years, which I don't regret it for the fact that I was able, for me and my family, to go there numerous times, and we had a place to stay, and we loved it. However, the regret part comes when I sold it, and I sold it for $10,000 less than what I purchased it for 10 years later. So once again, had I just put that money in the bank, investing it, the average return of the S&P is over 10%. If I even had a 5% interest rate growth over 10 years for $150,000, it would have definitely given me more than the $10,000 less than I got. So that's all to say that, we all make decisions, and sometimes they're not good, they're not, beneficial, but we learn from them. And so my hope is with this channel is to help other people make better decisions than I made, and hopefully not to make the same mistakes that I made. And, if you do, get out as quickly as possible. But number one, make sure that, you're listening to really people that have done their research and, really check the facts. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you. I thought about that this morning when I was watching the Money Guy podcast, and yeah, that just really resonated with me because, we all kind of can make those types of, wrong choices. But that's also to say that it didn't prevent me from reaching fire at 57. So it's still possible for you to come out the other end and be able to retire early, as long as you have that same kind of money discipline. So hope that helped, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.